Again, you've cut your forecast from 6.4% to 6.1%. That's still way below the government's target, even your previous projection here. What key risks are you looking at here?
So the biggest just risk right now is simply an increase once again in inflation. You know, the inflation number for March came in at 4%. That was well above the previous months of 3%. And my expectation is that April inflation will probably show some acceleration further. A lot of this, of course, is due to higher energy commodity prices, crude oil and refined oil products in global markets. And this means that there'll be greater expenditures that go to imported goods, which means a little less capability for consumers and businesses to buy locally and to drive the economy forward. So I suspect this is a temporary impact. Fortunately, right now, we at least see global oil commodity prices not falling, but at least they've stabilized. If you look at Brent crude oil, the global benchmark, it's a little bit volatile, but ranging between $100 and $105 a barrel over the last couple of weeks. That's a good sign that at least things have been stabilized there, and inflation may look better in the second half of the year.
Okay, since you've already touched on inflation here, can you nuance that a bit more for us? How long do you see commodity prices remaining elevated? And this also is not really much of an isolated case here for the Philippines. It's a regional thing.
That's exactly right. It is a regional thing, and it adds weight on the broader Asia-Pacific economy. At least Asia is less exposed to some of these inflation impacts than is, say, North America and Europe, because there's a lot of strong domestic demand in Europe and North America that adds to the inflation pressure as well. I do expect if things go reasonably well in terms of finding some resolution to the conflict of the Russia-Ukraine crisis, or at least managing sanctions, that we can see a little bit of easing perhaps in terms of global commodity prices in the second half of this year. Right now, we include assumptions in our own forecast that we'll see a peak in terms of global commodity prices by about mid-year, and then a little bit of easing after that. I will say there's a lot of uncertainty with that, but that seems to be a reasonable assumption at the moment.